You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Josh McDaniels and the Raiders and Antonio Pierce because he has come out and made some comments that, in my opinion, is throwing some shade back at Josh McDaniels. And also, it was revealed during the NBC broadcast that obviously Josh Jacobs and a lot of the Raiders players did not believe they were being used correctly from an offensive standpoint and being used enough. Well, Antonio Pierce has come out and he's made it very clear, hey, he's not dumb. He knows Davante Adams is probably a top 3 to 5 receiver in all of football. One could argue Josh Jacobs, top 3 rushing back, I think. Running back, I think we know that. He's certainly a workhorse, and when you sign that kind of contract, you feel like you want to be used. You're trying to work towards your next contract. There's all kinds of things that come into play. Also, and we'll start here, I mean, we know Josh McDaniels did not want to play Aiden O'Connell. Well, Davante Adams made these comments about Aiden O'Connell. He's as cool as the other side of the pillow. They like this guy. They like this rookie. He's impressive, man. He's cool as the other side of the pillow, he said post-game. Dude is not a rookie by years, he is, but by action. And like you said, that poise that he has in those types of situations, you don't see it often from a rookie quarterback. Like I said last week, the way he commands the huddle, the way he talks to us, the communication, the confidence, throw a pick down there early on in the game, and the way he bounced back is impressive. So I'm glad he is our guy. He's got 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's completing nearly 64% of his passes. And I think this might be something that some teams start looking at with some of these quarterbacks. He's 25 years old, which means he's coming into the league. He played a shit ton of football, and I've said I'm a big believer in a lot of games played. He played at a big college, but not a huge college, which means his wide receivers weren't running wide open at Purdue, right? Same college that Drew Brees once played at, came from. So, I mean, Josh McDaniels was resistant to playing this guy. And if Josh McDaniels must have been an idiot, because whatever your owner wants, and it's what Mark Daniels wanted, at the end of the day, if your owner wants you to do something, you might want to do it. So let's get to Antonio Pierce because he seems to be shading Josh McDaniels here too. This is PFT Michael David Smith. After complaining for much of the season that he wasn't getting the ball enough, Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams was the focal point of the passing game in Sunday night's win over the Jets. Raiders interim coach says that was by design. Pierce said that he wanted to throw Adams at the very start of the game and keep throwing to him. Adams got 13 targets on Sunday. Every other Raider got a combined 12 targets. Now, the only thing I'll caution, and I brought this up earlier, Jacoby Myers has been a very good wide receiver in this offense this year. So, and I think he only had like 2 catches last night. I would make sure that Jacoby Myers continues to get fed out there too. Quote, the first couple of plays were right to him. Get the ball in his hands, get him going. I noticed that right off the bat watching the game last night. When you've got one of the best receivers in the game, I'm not stupid. Wow. I know who to get the ball to. That is, I mean, look, that's a blatant slight at the former coach. That answer may not be intended as a slight towards former Raiders coach Josh McDaniels, but it's certainly true that McDaniels faced plenty of criticism for not getting the ball to Adams enough. Anybody remember the very out in the open game, Monday Night Football, Adams losing his shit on the sideline? It's because he wasn't getting the ball. I mean, if you're going to have these big-time diva wide receivers, you know good and well they want the ball. They want to be fed. Now, Josh Jacobs, I mean, you brought him back. And this article, this is RaidersBeat.com, but this is very interesting. They talk about how Josh McDaniels' offense has failed, there are plenty of reasons why. The NBC production crew brought it up last night. Quoting the NFL's reigning rushing champion, the NBC broadcast said Josh Jacobs, quote, finally feels appreciated and respected. So that's something that's been talked about. The other day I did a video where Josh McDaniels famously said when he was with Denver, it came out that he bragged he could take any high school quarterback and turn him into an all-pro quarterback. Now, we know that's not the case, and that's bullshit, and the dude was living in he had his head in the clouds, right? McDaniels. But that also shows, and he's shown it with some of the trades that he's made, that's a blatant lack of respect for the stars on your team that have been doing the job and that have actually showed, hey, we are stars, we can perform, we can excel. And Josh McDaniels didn't have an appreciation for that for some weird reason. I've got a performer here, use him. He wouldn't do it. It was like he was trying to prove a point. Now, one could say that Kyle Shanahan does the same kind of thing, but Kyle Shanahan's not stupid. Does anybody see how much Christian McCaffrey's getting the ball? Or that Deebo Samuel gets the ball? I mean, Deebo ran 20 yards for an end-around touchdown yesterday. You know, Debo's a wide receiver. He makes sure Deebo touches the ball as many times as he can feel like he can get it to him. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. Josh McDaniels didn't seem to want to do that. Now that Antonio Pierce is the head coach and confirmed last week was the first time Jacobs was able to give input on the runs that he wanted. So Josh McDaniels was not open to taking input from his own star players. And for what it's worth, Jacobs isn't the first to say something like this. Several reports last year hinted that even Derek Carr didn't feel like he had enough input with McDaniels. Players didn't feel like they were important to McDaniels, and that was part of the reason why they didn't work well with him. I mean, it's absurd. It's absurd. Here we are with McDaniels again, and now we're seeing why he failed in Denver and why he failed with the Raiders. This guy literally believed that the stars on his team, the best players on his team, number one, I don't want your input. I'm too arrogant for it. I mean, that's arrogance, right? That's lack of self-awareness and arrogance and ego. I mean, that's three things right there. That's a good way for a coach to run himself right into the ground and guess what? Be fired twice. And I said the other day, if you go to Warren Sharp's website, look up Warren Sharp, look up Josh McDaniels. He did a breakdown of Josh McDaniels' offenses all throughout the years, including the Rams, Patriots, the whole thing, with and without Tom Brady, all these things. And Josh McDaniels' offenses, he came in, they immediately got worse, and they progressively got worse. And it's like all these smart people didn't catch that before they hired. You know, it's baffling. It's like Josh McDaniels just ran the world's greatest Ponzi scheme on everybody, including me. I mean, hell, I had him up there with the Andy Reids and the Kyle Shanahans and these really smart, elite offensive Sean McVay, these smart offensive-minded coaches, and it was like it was fool's gold this whole time. It's nuts. I guarantee you one thing, Betty doesn't get another head coaching job in the NFL ever again. Now, is an owner going to put in the work, or will he be an offensive coordinator again next year? That's the next question. Some have said that he's going to have to come back as a quarterback's coach. Think about that a minute. He was like maybe one of the 2-3 highest paid offensive coordinators in the league. Like, I think Robert Kraft had given Josh McDaniels a raise to stay there and not take that Colts job. It's pretty wild. It really is. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Did not respect his stars, did not allow his star quarterback, Derek Carr, to have input on the game. One of the first things Sean Payton said about Russell Wilson before he even took the job, he said it on Colin Cowherd's show, that he would have his staff put together Russell Wilson's Seattle greatest hits, he called it. Greatest hits, 30 to 50 plays that Russell excelled at, got touchdowns, whatever. The plays Russell wants to, and that would become Russell's offensive playbook if he had him. And here we are a year later, and while there's been a couple of games where Russell Wilson has stunk it up, he's clearly much better this year. I mean, there's no disputing that. The statistics, I mean, I think he's getting very close to being like a top 15 quarterback again in the league. Statistically, he's 4-1, interception to touchdown to interception ratio. You get the point. All the things you need to do. That's a perfect example right there. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.